Good morning to everybody. Good evening, good night, wherever you're catching this from. We want to say thank you for joining in with us just for a little while to be able to come in and get this quick little message that we're going to be able to put out this morning on getting your head out of the sand, cleaning the ears so you can hear what's going on, spitting the sand out of that mouth so you can have that voice again. Many people work in that corporate world and they put titles on themselves. And with those titles, they think they are God complexes over everyone else that works within that organization. And I'm here to let you know that you are a creator. You are a voice. You do not have to hide yourself in the sand anymore. You can be able to come out and let your voice, your creativity, your mind, your imagination, and everything flow. And as it flows every day, then they will understand that, yes, if you truly wanted, you could take their job, but make sure you can do the task and be able to take care of everybody at the same time as you can do it. You know, if you want to be a leader, make sure that you can step up and be the leader. Make sure that you can guide those people within the organization and make everybody happy at the same time. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Yes, it is. But yet we need to understand that each individual person has a talent that they are bringing to the table that they were hired for if they're working within your organization or for your business. Make sure each talent is being nourished for what they are doing and you're not overtasking them with something that is not within their realms. Make sure each person that you hire to do different things for you are talented in all areas that you hire them for. I need editors. So what do? I look for good editors that I know I can trust and I can work with. Then when I'm looking for somebody who is going to take care of my videos and videography and stuff like that, I look for people who are already awesome within their organization and have good reviews within their things that they're doing. So what did I do? I got my head out of the sand about 3.5 years ago to know that the corporate world and their titles that they were giving everybody and the God complex that these people were having and not truly taking care of their job because they were trying to run around being the boss over everyone else when they weren't taking care of their task. So as an entrepreneur, you're taking care of many hats. You have many things that you need to make sure that you are proficient in, or you leverage people who are. And you're making sure that you are leveraging those people who are not afraid to speak their voice to you, who know that you have a heartbeat just like they do. And when you communicate with them for what you're wanting to do, business is business. Friendship is friendship. Two different areas within life that you need to work with. So if you hire your friends to do a task, they need to understand that they are hired to do that task when they're at the office from that time frame. Friendship is out the door during that. Why? Because business is business. What are we here for in this world? To get more monetary funds, to be able to have the things that we want, to go the places we want to go and do the things that we want to do. Can you do that with your head in the sand? No, because you are hampering your creative side of life and the things that you came to build within your life and your empire. Removing that sand from the ears so you can hear what's going on. Clearing that vision so you can see where you truly had a dream to go until you got in the corporate world and then everybody started putting their titles over you and thinking they're better than you. And then what did? You just go hide your head in the sand. Not anymore, guys. The corporate world has changed. People have changed. This society has changed altogether. And with that changing right there, we have to evolve with it. And if we just go and hide and don't put our voices out there, then we'll be 50 or 60 and be listening to that table of people that we heard last night at the restaurant. There was about 5 or 6 people in their elderly states that started talking about all of their regrets, things that they wish they could have done and things that they, this, that, and the other in life that, I wish I could have had that between 18 to 25. That would have changed my life altogether, and all kinds of other things. Then there's this one lady at the end of the table, oldest of all, and they were asking her, so you work for yourself? So you work from home? I wanted to go talk to this lady so bad to see what she did. But we did kind of hear in the conversation that she owns her own restaurant and she has some other things that she does. So she found the entrepreneur life, and then everybody else at the table was all sitting there talking about regrets. But she was just sitting there smiling, not saying a word about regrets, because it looked like she had done what she had wanted to do in her lifetime. It looked like she didn't hide her head in the sand. And I'm glad I was able to pop mine out of the sand 3.5 years ago and start my own business, to remove myself from those that were putting titles in their job titles, to say, this is what I am. I'm over you. This is what you have to do. I said so. Really? Don't give me that ultimatum, because I'll bounce and go to the house. You want to chat with me and work with me and guide me in the right direction with the correct words, I'll work with you all day. But if you tell me that I have to start doing something, then we have a problem. Because I have physical abilities and heartbeats just like you. I have a mind and creativity just like you. Just because a task doesn't get done from point A to point B exactly like you said it needs to be done, when I have the same talents as you and I can bring it and probably either do it faster or better than you, and you get jealous. So you'll find that a lot within corporations. People get jealous of you, the way you speak to people, the way people want to chat with you all the time, or they just want to be around you but not them. People might need to start evaluating themselves or the way they're treating other people, and then you will see what's going on or not happening correctly within your life. Putting better communications to you, putting better words to you, putting better thoughts to you, and moving your life in a better direction will put a better outcome to people when you communicate with them. But if you wake up with a negative attitude and stay in a hidden state all the time, and then yet when you try to voice your opinion, you don't know how, because you haven't come out and communicated throughout your life. Communication is a skill. Communication is a talent. Communication is something that we need to start with ourselves first. It's an awesome day. Get the sand out of the ears, guys. Clean off the vision. Get yourself ready and focused for where you're going. Voice those opinions of what you need and what you want and where you're going and how that day is going to flow, and roll with it. Why? Because this is your life, no one else's. You want to go to the beach? Awesome. Build a sandcastle. Get you a Mai Tai. Get you a margarita in the hand. Whatever you got to do. Enjoy the sand. Don't put your head in it. Don't go hide in it, because those titles mean nothing. Our heart beats just the same. Some a little bit faster than others. Some might have a skip in it. But we still all have blood flowing through our bodies. We still all have a creative mind. And just know that my words are not here to overpower anybody, but my words are here to open you up, to let you know the awesomeness that you have within inside of you. To open you up, to let you know that sometimes you may need to speak a little bit stern to yourself and quit being so, oh, I don't know if I can. Yes, you can. Why? Because you put the words, I will make this happen within my life, because it's what I desire. It is what is going to make me happier, make me feel better, make me feel awesomeness all day long. And knowing when you walk around out there in the reality of the world, don't put your head down and hide from anybody as you're walking through a crowd. You hold your head held high, and you know that you are here on this earth just like they are. If you're walking in a different direction than they are, hold your head even higher, because you know you're not in that zombie state and you're not hiding from the world anymore. You know that you're bringing what you got to the forefront, and people are listening, people are seeing, and people are paying attention, because you are bringing something different to the game that hasn't been brought in a long time, or has been lacked for a long time. You're bringing love and honesty and truth and respect and authentic self to the world. And when you start bringing all that to you and you start bringing it to the world, then they start noticing that you're not walking the same path as them, and they want to know why and how they can shift their energies and do something different within their life, because they are tired of the same thing over Groundhog Day, Groundhog Day, Groundhog Day. Many people are seeing that there's many ways of doing something different within life now. It is not the norm of, we'll go to Brother Tim, if you don't mind. Tell what the teacher said about your child not fitting in the box.
About the conforming to? Well, just that, she's a pretty rambunctious little girl, right? And she has her own spirit, and she's
how old?
She's turning 8 in July, so she's 7 right now. But she's having trouble with learning. They did a huge IQ test on her there just a couple of weeks ago, and she's got genius IQ. A lot of her stuff is down and behind because she's full of piss and vinegar, man. So she doesn't want to be a part of that cubic society that we're all kind of forced into as we're children, right? So I'm going to keep it going, and we're going to maybe medicate. We're still talking about it, but it's only an hourly thing. So it's just throughout the day, just to kind of help her out, focus, so that she can learn some of the basic skills that they do teach, like mathematics and all that kind of stuff. But no, man, we're just helping her just be herself. And, show that to the world as well, because it's something that I'm learning from. And yeah, it's a glorious thing for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, she's 8 years of age, and the teacher says she's not conforming to everyone else. Hell no. Don't make her. She's her authentic self right now. Her creativity, you just said it, her IQ score is up. So yes, she is learning, but yet she's not being the one exactly the way the teacher is trying to mold her to be. Trying to put her in that corporate society already at 8 years of age to fit into this box and don't have your creativity and don't talk over here and don't do that. And you can't touch this. That sounds familiar to a lot of people that you heard throughout your lifetime? Hampering you, say you can't do this, and oh no, don't do that, or oh, that's going to be dangerous, or don't go, oh no, don't go bungee jumping, oh, don't go skydiving, don't go start a business, oh, you don't know what you're doing, you never been there. No, I had never been there. You're right. But what did I do is I found people that have already accomplished, and I put myself around them and within their circle so I could start paying attention to what they were doing, how they were doing it, how they were setting out the videos, how they were doing what did I do? I got better structure within my life to be able to start a business. And guess what? I started 4. Awesomeness right there within a 3-year period. To be able to build the businesses that you want throughout your life, it's up to you. Those creative ideas, those dreams that you have put in the back burner for so long that you had never even thought of again, but yet they keep coming. Because every full moon cycle that keeps flowing around and it gets closer to the earth, it brings a bit more energy to you to put a more clarity to your life and a little bit better focus. And it starts awakening some things that you didn't even remember. Oh, yeah, I do remember that dream now. That was, oh, shoot, I was in high school. Man, that was back in college days. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, I remember those dreams. But yet they're starting to come out. And you're starting to be around people of those. Why? Because you're finally getting to an alignment. It may have took you 20, 30, 40 years to get into alignment. But you're finally starting to waken up to know that the society is trying to mold you to make you the slave that they want you to be, to build their empires, their dreams, their goals, to do what? Bring more monetary funds to their pockets. Period. So now all you need to do is take that energy, those creativities, and all that talents that you've been putting to somebody else, and know that you can start a consulting job and be a consulting person. Because there's many talents that you may have as either an accountant or I'm a safety consultant for oil and gas industries. I am on retainer for many corporations, and they contact me and say, hey, we've got this going on. What can you do? What can we do? What is our legality realms that we can take as an organization? So me and the lawyers get together and we start hashing out what needs to be done and how it can be taken care of. And they move forward with that process. I get a commission check in the mail because I assisted them with something. So are you an electrician? You could go out and start your own business. Are you a plumber? Are you an AC man? There's many different talents out there. What is the one guy that was back and forth on the subway now makes millions of dollars knitting kitten socks? His grandmother taught him as he was growing up. Why? Because they were in a bad neighborhood, but yet she molded him to know that he didn't have to have that same mindset as everybody else in those bad neighborhoods. So she put him through a better mindset process and taught him different little things. So as he was going to back and forth on the subway to go to a job or to school, he would have on his earphones so he wouldn't hear all the crazy stuff, and was just knitting. Somebody videoed him, and now it went viral on YouTube, and now he teaches people how to knit all online. So there's many different talents. What is that 8-year-old or 11-year-old kid that makes millions of dollars online just reviewing toys and playing with toys? And him and his mom makes a blog. And they get paid. So just know those talents that you have, this world is changing and evolving very fast. This Facebook and this YouTube and these Zooms that we're on, they're all for a free platform. But yet, do it correctly. Make sure that you get in there and understand the process of how it all works and why it works and where it's all linked up to, so you don't go out there and blow a bunch of money and then come back and think, oh, well, this just didn't work for me because I blew all kinds of money. Get with the people that actually know how to do it and understand it, and then you will have a better process to move yourself into a better area of doing things of the online world. Same thing if you're doing brick and mortar. You're going to talk to other people that have already built a successful brick and mortar, correct? You're going to make sure that you get up and around them and listen to them And you're going to find out where they got their insurance from, or how they was able to lease the building or purchase the building, or the products that they got to get inside. And now you got to pay taxes on those products, all that stuff that you need to learn. What do you need to do? You need to make sure that you get with somebody, because a business will fail within the first 5 years if you don't have everything structured correctly. So that's where we need to make sure these talents and these things that you're learning, you're not turning around and putting your head in the sand because somebody else is wanting to overpower you with their title. It is a good day, guys, to have your creativity out there to the fullest, bringing your awesomeness out there to the world to see, hear, and enjoy every single day. Because many of you have a voice, like Miss Carol has a voice, loves to sing around the house and here and there, but yet, you know, people need to hear that. Many people play the instruments and guitars and stuff like that. Miss Patricia within our community, 75 years old, does real estate, does artist work, and then teaches classes on people on, you know, she stepped into her artist work. She was like, how can I sell it? Cool. She learned how to sell it. Then she said, well, how could I do something different? Well, then she found out she can start building a little page, and she's going to start working on showing people, you know, remember the guy with the long white beard and the big old white hair? And then he would always sit up there and paint and tell people what brush to use and talk for 30 minutes on, you know, the AM channels or on the PBS shows. My grandmother watched that all the time, you know? So there's different things that we can all do to move ourselves and know that we have a talent. Keep that talent, keep nourishing that talent, keep getting more knowledge for that talent and that skill to make you more crafted and more valuable within the monetary funds of life. Because it's a value that we give out, a value with our talents and our words every day. All right, Brother Julio, you got a moment before we step out? You're muted, brother.
Can you hear me now?
There you are, a little bit low. There you go.
Yeah. My daughter, you know, she is she's about to be 13 this upcoming month, but she's extremely artistic. She doesn't learn like everybody else, you know. My daughter's always been told, hey, you know, she's behind or whatnot. You know, they always do her little IQ test, and they'll go, okay, well, she scores high all the time. You know, and this is since she was younger, you know, so I kind of shared Tim's story, you know, and I agree with Thomas. Do not conform to how they're operating, because that's all they're going to really do. They're going to try to constrict her mind to operate, you know, the way they do things. Now we speak on it all the time, how the system, our public school system, they're behind. They're behind on creativity. They're behind the, you know, behind how our brains operate. Not everybody's brain, you know, learns the same, retains the same, functions the same. You know, if somebody learns a specific way, you know, and they don't learn the way, I guess, the masses have been taught to learn, that doesn't mean that they're slow. That doesn't mean that they're anything less. You know, not in the slightest bit. My daughter, she'll take a piece of trash and she will turn the piece of trash into artwork. She'll take a piece of aluminum foil or a 2-liter soda or cardboard pieces. This girl, I don't know anybody as artistic as my daughter. You know, does she learn differently than everybody else in her classroom? Yes, for years the teachers had her, and I would sit there and have to almost erase what the teachers and the tutors and all this stuff would what they would kind of embed in her mind, you know. And she had this fallacy that she would say, okay, well, you know, like something was wrong with her because she operated differently, because she thought differently, you know. So I've had to reaffirm my daughter personally throughout the years over and over and over again, and tell her that no, they just want you to think a certain way, and because your mind is bigger than the way that they think and the way that the system is set up, they don't have a category to put you in. They don't have, you know, something to say, oh, it's this, it's that. They haven't even come up with any form of curriculum towards students who learn differently, you know, who operate differently, and their brain functions differently. What if they are a visual learner, you know, and they can't, you know, do certain aspects, or they're not retaining certain things? Doesn't mean that they're anything less than because they're not fitting into that quote unquote box. I love this topic specifically that you brought that up, Thomas, and the image that you chose for the head in the sand for the Zoom. You know, I think it's awesome. You know, my son, who I told you is the really the advanced one, the one who's promoting water to his teachers. That one, but the one who he's just under my daughter. He's extremely technically inclined. This kid will program, you name it, and he'll program your TV. He'll set up your electronics. He does. Well, let's see. This port looks like that port. Yep, I know exactly where this goes. And like, he is extremely technical. And they go, oh, well, we think your son needs to be evaluated slightly differently. This is in the last year, so he gets he's evaluated differently towards a few separate subjects. But I've been having to tell him the exact same thing that I've been telling my daughter for years, like, look, your brain is you're growing past what they have available here at school. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you still might be learning and that they still can teach you from an academic perspective, but your brain functions differently than what they're used to. Their brain, and they can't they can't say it's this and that, or it's because of such and such, or whatever the case is. They can't even put a finger on what exactly it is, that how advanced your brain is. So understand that you're special, understand that you just think differently, and they don't know how to operate in the way that you're thinking, so they're trying to make you think the way everybody else. So I've explained that to my children in full, Thomas. But I started laughing when you first started talking about this and had a big Kool-Aid smile on my face, because the topic that I wanted to bring up this morning and ask every adult here this morning, whether you're watching it on the live or the replay, or you're on the panel this morning, is what has it cost you in your lifetime to be you? Don't get me wrong, you only can be you, but what has it costed you? What has it cost you thus far? Whether you're 36 like myself, or you're 26, or you're freaking 17, or you're 75, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whoever you are watching this, what has it costed you in order to be the person that you are? Because you didn't conform, because you didn't operate under somebody else's limitations and restrictions, they might have treated you differently. They might have looked at you differently. They might have said, hey, that person is slow, or that person is different. And we already know people fear what they don't understand, and they judge right away what they don't understand, what they can't comprehend, or what they deem as different or not normal per se. What has it cost you to become the person that you're becoming day in and day out? Of course, we want you to become the best version of yourself. That is something we promote every single morning without fail. We promote that here. We want you to become the best version of yourself, but in you not conforming to somebody else, and you not conforming to somebody else's restrictions, somebody else's limitations, somebody else's ceiling, for your life, for potential, for you becoming the best you, or you discovering who you're supposed to be. We spoke about it the other day. It was Monday or Tuesday of last week, Thomas, how people who are just, turning in their 30s are just discovering who they're supposed to be, whether it be a man and a woman. It's kind of like they're just on the cusp of who, of learning who they are as a person, how they operate, their habits, how they think, how they process, and so forth. So, and I say that from a positive, not from a negative perspective at all, but from a positive perspective. Now, it may have affected you negatively, where people treat you differently, or they talk to you differently, or, oh, don't mess with Thomas because he thinks he's better than everybody else, and blah, blah, blah. Thomas will tell you that's part of his testimony. He goes through stuff with his family because they know him as being somebody else, and he's a different person today than he was 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We're all growing, we're all maturing, we're all on that pursuit of becoming a better version of ourselves, and not looking and acting and conforming to somebody else's restrictions and limitations for ourselves. So what has it costed you? What has it cost you, like, as a person, as an individual? And at that, are you okay with that? I'm okay with that, because I refuse to operate under somebody else's limitations. I refuse to operate under, hey, I couldn't do that, so guess what, Julio, you're not going to do that either. I'm sorry, because you didn't perform to the best of your ability, because you didn't perform to your potential, doesn't mean that I'm not going to. Because you had to stop at 7.5 doesn't mean that I can't excel to 20.5, to 40.5, to whatever higher frequency, whatever level that is elevated above where that individual was able to reach, or whatever the case may be. You know, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. So I didn't hear Thomas say it. I jumped on a little bit late, you know, but have you told yourself, you know, I love you this morning? Have you told yourself, hey, you're sexy, you're handsome, you're fine, whatever the case may be? You know, if you win the morning, you win the day. So have you spoken words of affirmation towards yourself this morning before jumping on this Zoom? You know, are you already mentally charged for this day to take on the day, that no matter what happens in this day, you're going to excel, you're going to make this day count, you're going to have a great day no matter what? Have you decided that as an individual? Have you made that decision that you're going to be happy today, that you're going to have a great day no matter what comes your way? It's a mindset, guys. You know, I hope that you have. And if you haven't, by all means, if your mic ain't muted right now, mute your microphone. Go look at yourself in the mirror and go tell yourself these things. Take a break. Put your camera off. Whatever you got to do, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that all things are possible. All things are possible. Understand that. So whatever temperature gauge your thermostat is set to, that is to where you'll perform. So you want to elevate your game, you want to excel your life, you want your relationship, you want your business, you want whatever to be at a higher temperature, a higher level, then take yourself there, because nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to set that life thermometer but you. You are in control of your own thermometer. You're in control of your own temperature and where you want to be. So set that bar high and let that be the mark that you're aiming to. Let that be the mark. And if you don't hit it, it's okay. Tomorrow's another day, but you are excelling and you're better than you were yesterday. Something to think about. Love you guys, man.
Much love, much appreciation, much fire every time he steps in. And that's what it's all about, guys. We're bringing the fire. We're bringing the inspiration. We're bringing the knowledge back to you every day, just to remind y'all every single day. Get up there. You got it, you know, no matter what's going on and, you know, things in life. The one thing I've seen in the conversations here right quick and the message that you brought out, we're black sheep. But yet, like Shannon said, we're the black sheep that know what we want, and we're doing what we have to do to get the shit done. Period. So that right there, guys, yes, we may be the black sheep. We may be doing something different. We may be out of the norm. We may be those that are the pathfinders. We are the ones that are blazing the new trails. But guess what? There's people following because they see what's going on. They're actually starting to get their head out of the sand and start understanding that they can do something different within life. So know that as black sheep, the youngest of the family and the one that has been the gypsy and the one that has always been the one that the family doesn't understand. But yet when I walk into a room at this 50th wedding anniversary that we went to this past weekend, everybody shakes my hand and said, we're proud of everything that you're doing. We're proud of the path that you're going on. And these are my family that doesn't even actually know what I'm doing. But yet they hear it and they see it. And then they know, like Julio said, I am a total different person than I was 15 years ago. Yes. But I wasn't much different than I am right now. The only thing that was different was my attitude, because I would tell you where to stick it in a heartbeat back then. I would tell you that, yeah, I am better. I am cocky. I know what I'm doing. Get out of my way, you know? And I was the one that, you know, I didn't know how to lead. I didn't know how to guide because I was still trying to guide myself, still trying to find my path and how things were going. You know, so to know today the things and the trainings that I started back in my 20s and then started working on myself and my guidance in my mind and, you know, how could I get everything into a better balance and to have a better flow, to have more success in the things that I was doing, to get the knowledge that I needed to be able to be around the people. I knew that then, but yet I was only in the construction world. And I was always getting my fingers stepped on every time I try to climb that ladder to do something better for myself. And that's when I started realizing the corporate world, as I started moving up, the more of those people that were hiding because they were afraid of the boss that was sitting in the far back corner of the building. He'd walk in, everybody kind of scatter and go away. And then he would go into his office and then they would all be afraid to go talk to him. I didn't. I'd go over there. He loved bass fishing, you know, loved spending his time up on the lake with his family and grandkids. I got to know the man. Still calls me today. says thank you for everything that you brought to the table, coming into our office every day with a smile. Haven't had that kind of energy in this place since you left. Wish you would come back. I laugh all the time with those conversations. And each time they call, they ask, are you going to come back? We're ready to have this energy back. Everybody around here is moping again. We need our camaraderie back up. And I did that with just a smile and with my energy in a building of 200 people. You have that same effect every day, people. You have that same effect on everyone that you meet. It's the persona that you put off. It's that aura that you put off. You can either put off the happiness and they can feel it within you, and then it gets contagious. Miss Patty, I see you got your hand up, baby.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to touch base a little bit on something Julio said, and also just about what it cost you to be where you are now. And Kim and I were actually chatting on our own on Saturday, and it was really interesting because we're both, over 50. Let's just say that. We're both over 50. And we were chatting about how we see, all the potential that working online and being in this business, what it can do for us. And that it's almost like, well, what is it going to cost us if we don't keep going with this? If we don't move forward, it's like, what are we going to lose? And so it's looking back for sure, and just seeing how relationships have changed, and our own personal attitudes. And I wish she was on here today, but I see that she isn't, but she's amazing. Her spirit and her mindset are just phenomenal. Like, she already gets it. And I just lost my train of thought again, because I'm over 50. Just that we were talking about how younger people, like just getting started in their 20s and 30s even, have this as part of their regular lives. They'll never know a life without the online world and the internet, and that this is available, that we hope that more people of that age bracket will realize that they really don't have to work traditionally ever if they don't want to. And it just seems that, our own mind and spirits don't tend to evolve as quickly as sometimes technology does, because we don't always see the potential of what's in front of us. And even these much younger people who live with technology 24/7, because it's always in their hand, right? Always. It's the only way they communicate, and still not able to see how wonderful their life could be by working with the tool that they carry every single day. So it was this whole online experience, and even just starting with morning motivation has been incredible for me, and just kind of putting it all into perspective, and just being able to focus on moving forward and how to do that, and the tools that we have at literally our fingertips, including something like this. Like, we are located all over Canada and the US, and here we can come every morning and just chat with each other and talk about all the great things that are going on in our life, and helping each other through some of the struggles, and how to move forward with that, and how to just incorporate all of this positivity into our everyday life. And you can put a price on that, right? Like, that is priceless. And this right here it's free. And even, moving forward with business or not, it's potentially, free for a lot of all intents and purposes. But, just this camaraderie and the support that you feel from everybody, you don't get that in your everyday life. It's just, because it's hard to find people who will think like that, and who don't have you want to have your own best interests at heart. Of course, it's all about moving yourself forward, but in order to do that, you'll do that better and faster if you help someone else move their lives forward. And bring all the positive changes they need. And just through that, just by doing that, you're focusing less on yourself, but you're growing yourself so much at the same time just by helping other people do that. So, kudos to you, Thomas, and Ashley, even though I know she doesn't come on anymore, but for starting this group a couple years ago. And because look at now how many people are in here. It's a holiday Monday. I think it's Monday for us in Canada, but just the people that come in here every single day and have this opportunity to even listen. If you don't want to talk, you can just listen and absorb, and people can tell that, as you're taking more and more of this in, that just your own vibrations are coming through the screen, even through facial expressions. And I see some people nodding, and I'm getting that encouragement right? So we all get that just by being in part of something like this. So that's my little rant for today, but hopefully more and more people, we can continue to spread this around, and more people will see the opportunities just for themselves that, to move their lives forward in always, right? Mind, body, spirit, financially, whatever the case may be, that there's sort of something here for everybody. But
yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Powerful words right there, Miss Patty. Thank you for everything that you just brought out to the table, because she just talked about, and Julio also, what, have we given up in life or lost in life? But now, knowing where you're at now, the things that you can do for the next 2 to 5 years with your life, how much are you going to gain? How much are you bringing back to the table of your life, those around you, and everything that you're doing, just by staying dedicated to something a little bit different that a lot of people don't understand? Yes, this is something new. This is evolving. And, so we're having fun with it every day. So know that this is out of the norm. Yes, we are a little bit, offbeat, a little crazy. Sometimes we might have a little tick in us. You might have something. It doesn't matter, but it's okay. Have fun with those little quirky sides of your life, because those are the things that make you smile. They bring out the creativity within you, and it lets you flow within in life. We may be black sheep, but we don't have our head in the sand anymore. We are getting better vision and clearer focus on where we want to go. We are listening to those that have the success, and we are paying attention to those that are bringing something more to the forefront for us to piggyback off of and follow through. Because with this information and this knowledge and this training that is coming out for us all to be able to utilize, and to be able to have an educational platform to do the things that we want to do, all online, find that right one that fits for you. Find those products or services that are best fit for you. Things that make you happy, makes your life tick, So what are you learning and bringing back to the table? That's all that matters. And just knowing that we have a clear vision within life. We're going to wrap this baby up with Miss Shannon this morning. No, hang on. Mr. Scott, I see you had your hand up right quick. Got a couple minutes.
Oh, I just want to say something about Tim and Julio was saying. It's so sad about our school system nowadays, because if you really think about it, how they try to make us, involve us, or mold us into how they want us to be and everything. And they done took out the auto mechanics. They done took out the home ec of cooking and sewing and all that. And they're just trying to bring us out into the corporate world and say, there, just go ahead and go. You graduated, now go to college. Most likely you go to college, you end up with $60,000, $70,000 in debt, because most likely that job's not going to be there once you graduate, and you're investing in a professor to teach you. So why not just invest in yourself and everything, and you won't have to worry about being $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in debt. You can invest in yourself, and you'll never be in debt. And you'll be able to progress and be able to do them things, They don't, like I said, wood shop and all that, they don't have them things no more. So just bring out your talents and just show everybody, man. There's no reason to be in debt nowadays. And corporate America don't care. They just want you to come out. And like I've said before, just be like that little string puppet and just let them just guide you through life. And so many people nowadays are so comfortable with that. And you need to get out of that mindset of being comfortable like that and actually take charge of your life and quit letting corporate America and society guide you and tell you what you're going to do.
That's it. Society will guide us. Why? Because that was the norm for so long. That was bringing you into their training system to get you a little bit better towards this and to get you into that and that skill set where they think, all right, you didn't pass this IQ, so this is what you should be going into. Many of y'all probably heard that throughout time as well. You're not talented. You don't have the skill. You don't look like you have the physical ability to take care of this. Really? You don't know me. So I love it when people challenge me and say, you can't do that. Step out the way and let me show you. But it's all good because we're problem solvers within life. And that's what I do for a living is I solve problems. I go into a disaster area, where everybody is running with their heads cut off and, oh no, this, oh no, that, oh, what are we going to do? Stop for a moment, assess the situation, and let's get some shelter. Let's get some, roads cleared. Let's get some electricity back in here and let's make it all, clean and back to the way it was before. Why? Because you're now going to work hand in hand with your neighbor that you don't even know anymore. You're going to work hand in hand with all those down the road in this neighborhood that you never even met. But guess what? You're fixing to know them because you're going to start helping them clean up these areas. You're going to get your homes back in order. You're going to help each other along the way so it doesn't cost a bunch of people a bunch of money when you have camaraderie and fellowship. Because more hands can make more things happen in a shorter period of time than it is a pair of hands. So when we work together, just like we're doing within this organization right here, we're all working together to build each other up, to let you know that we don't hear can't anymore, or it's hard. It's one of those, I know I can, and I will. Because I'm putting that mindset to it. I'm putting that focus to it, and that energy and that drive to it, because it's something that I want to do that's going to make me happy. Brandon, I see you got your hand up, brother.
I guess I never get to talk on here, but I know just one thing that hit me today. And here we are talking about educating ourselves. I think we just need to get the word out there and spread it. We can raise our kids. The internet gives us the ability to give them the information. And we don't need to send them to public schools anymore and give them the disadvantage. I mean, just to hear earlier, I don't know who was saying it only took them an hour to set up their daughter for the day and she could teach herself. There's so many kids who are just forced into 8 hours of being in a box, and it is definitely by 18 setting them in a hole that it's hard to get out of. And it was just cool to hear that in an hour's worth of time we could get our kids set up and they could teach ourselves and they don't have to deal with that. Because there's way too many kids out there who I've been seeing in the medical field are ADHD. I mean, her daughter could have easily been prescribed to medication and put in a special education class and hindered for the rest of her life. I know that I'm one of those kids, and it's hard to come out of. I'm in nursing school right now, and I use my abilities and knowledge in that to fight that. So it was just very uplifting to hear about teaching your kids, and we can teach ourselves. So we just can't forget that they deserve that hour a day too.
That's it.
And that's it. Much love, guys. I'm glad to get in here today.
Hey, glad to have you, and I love the post that you put out afterwards, the message that you grab out of this. He puts out a little post afterwards, and it's pretty cool. He's got some good words. He's a very talented man. So, guys, we're going to be able to wrap this up here. We're going to pass it over to Miss Shannon, and she's going to read an affirmation that she writes for us every day, and, almost every day, but Monday through Friday anyway. Okay. All right, Miss Shannon, go ahead.
Morning, everybody. It's Monday. I'm happy, I'm blessed, and I'm going to do amazing things this week. My day begins with gratitude and joy. I see myself becoming more confident every day. I remain calm and happy all day today. I start each day with a positive thought and a cup of coffee. I choose to have an awesome week. Have a great day.
Have an awesome one, guys. Did you hear the most powerful word? 2 words. I choose. So we're choosing to have a good day. We're choosing to put positive words into our life. We're choosing to go out with a smile on our face. We're choosing to be happy around everyone else because we're happy within ourselves. So it's not an act. You're actually being your authentic self and bringing the happiness that you have within you. And then everyone else will want to be around you and have fun with you and do things with you and go places with you. Why? Because we are the happy people that are shifting this world and this life. It may have started with us at an older age, but guess what? We found our niche, and we're moving with it, and we're having fun with it. Y'all have an awesome day. I love and appreciate you all. Thank y'all for coming out today. We will see y'all tomorrow morning at the same time, same Zoom link. Y'all have an awesome day. Love and appreciate you all.